So, in February 2019, the Finnish police in Lahti, Finland, which is it's about an hour north of Helsinki by train, roughly an hour-ish. So, very close to the capital region. But yeah, in February 2019, the police in Lahti beat up a drunk man in jail, and they almost killed him in the process. So they dragged him in a cell in the jail, pinned him down, and then a police officer came and punched him 3 times, while others pinned him down and some kneeled on his upper back, which caused him to go lifeless, and he had to be resuscitated by CPR by an ambulance. He did not die, luckily, but he almost died. It's very close. So the victim had his feet and his hands restrained by one of those things that, you know, like you have your hands behind your back and then your feet, and then it like connects the both of them. I don't know what it's called, but you know what I mean. That kind of thing. So the background to that was that he was apparently at a club in Lahti, and he was very, very drunk, and the police were called over, and he was taken away, and the police who were taking him called ahead to the jail. Jail. They called and said, this is a difficult case, like, we're gonna need some help. And, you know, like, a really drunk person could require, like, 2-3 people to detain. Like, yeah, I can believe that, sure. So they prepared some extra people. They brought him there to the jail, and they put him in the cell on a mattress, and then, you know, beat him, and suffocated him, essentially. It looks like it, at least. And he almost died. And so we have video of this, actually. I'll show it to you. So, content warning, there is violence in this. So this is from the security camera in the cell. So here we see the police and the guards. So the police and the guards are bringing him in. They put him on this thing. They have him already detained. There we can see that there's been detained, and this guy comes in and punches him a few times. And there are 4 policemen, police and guard here holding him down, while another 3 or 4 are just watching, doing absolutely fucking nothing. Let's do that again, shall we? Just for posterity's sake. So we have like about 8 officers, around 10 officers and guards who are just watching, you know, not doing anything, not trying to stop it in any sort of way. They're just, you know, they're just doing this, you know. They are complicit in this. Yeah, it's really fucked up. It's not cool. So that happened about 1.5 years ago. And the person who attacked him, the victim, was a senior officer as well, an older officer. These videos came to light only recently because, well, there was a court case going. Court cases take time, you know. But also, the prosecutor was trying to suppress the video from being shared. So the prosecutor didn't want the video to be shared and to the public, and the victim only got to see the video material once, and that's it. But the courts ruled that the material should be released to the media. The media got the material, and the articles came out, and now we're here. Yeah, so the officer who assaulted the victim is a senior constable. Why? You may be thinking, why did the prosecutor not want the video released? Surely the prosecutor would want that to get an actual recounting of what happened, right? Well, you see, in Finland, the police are investigated by the police. So let that sink in. The police investigate themselves. Kind of a conflict of interest there, don't you think? I mean, yes, granted, the police, when they do the investigation, they're not investigated by their own precinct. It's another precinct that does it. But still, in my opinion, the police should not be investigating themselves. It's a huge conflict of interest. It's like taking a big corporation. Let's take Angry Birds maker Rovio, for example, a company that we can all know. If they did tax fraud or tax evasion, and then the tax office is like, hey, we noticed that there's tax evasion here. Could you find out if that's true? And then they go away for like a few months and like, oh no, we didn't find anything. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Yeah. So, and the fucked up thing about this whole thing is that the people who are charged here with assault, I think, is what they're being charged with, is one officer and 2 guards. So everyone else there, like the rest of the 5 to 7 people who are just watching, are not being charged with anything, which is fucking wrong. They're complicit in this whole thing. Like, they were watching and not stopping it. And most of the officers and the defendants deny that they did anything wrong. And I believe most of the officers who were testifying also said that they didn't see anything. They didn't notice anything wrong. Except one of the officers who brought the victim to jail, I think he was the highest ranking of them all, if I'm not mistaken, he said that there's no denying that they saw the punching happen, and that he didn't know why this person who was doing the punching did that punching. This is, like, this fucking sucks. Like, this person was apparently, according to the police, because that's the only fucking info we have, which is, like, take it with a grain of salt, this person was, like, being violent while drunk. Like, alright, he had to be detained. Okay. Yeah, but why the fuck do you need 10 officers and guards to deal with one drunk person and then almost beat him to death? Like, that's inexcusable and a flagrant abuse of power. Yeah, Thunder, as far as I know, most of them claim they literally didn't see anything. Yes, I also heard something similar, but I didn't see it in any article, so I'm not entirely sure if it's true. But yeah, like, yes, that I heard also them like, oh, I didn't see anything, which is like, the fuck? What if he was a bodybuilder drunk? You still wouldn't need 10 people. Like, let's say he was stronger than the average person, 5 people would do. You don't need 10 people. And now, the more officers, the more care you can take when apprehending the suspect. Yeah, but you don't need that many people. Like, it's not necessary, McLeod. Like, you don't need that many people. Yeah, like, 10 is a flagrant abuse of power, and they almost beat him to death. They almost killed him. And the others who looked and didn't do anything are not getting charged with anything. That's not right. Right. Sometimes a drunk person can be very strong, so it's understandable to need a few. No, not 10 officers, but the beating is unacceptable. They don't need 10 officers. That's ridiculous. Like, we could also see in the scene, there was not room for 10 officers to do something. We could see 4 people being wrapped around the person. Let's fucking... Like, look. Like, there literally is no room for 10 people to be doing shit here. Because they bring him down here, and there's like 4 people, and there's literally no room. Like, there's 4 or 5 people. There's no more room. These people can't do anything because there's no room. They don't need these people. It is a show of force, and it's like, these people are complicit here in this assault. If I, as a civilian, see someone getting murdered and I don't do anything, like literally nothing, I just stand, I'm like, well, looks like someone's getting beat up or murdered, I can get charged with, you know, I can get charged because I didn't do anything. Like, that can happen. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. And getting to the ACAB point, why? Because I tweeted about this and I was like, ACAB in Finland, ACAB everywhere. So ACAB, what does ACAB mean? ACAB means all cops are bastards. Not all cops are bad. That is a misrepresentation of the term. All cops are bastards. It doesn't mean all cops, like each cop individually is a bastard, a bad person. No, it means that the system will bastardize all of the police. That if you are in the system, the institution of the police, that will turn you into a bastard eventually, because you have to do things within that system that are not good. And policing in general, the police institutions that we have in Europe and the US, North America, etc., the institution is the problem. This type of behavior is part of the institution. The institution is not meant to protect people, it is meant to protect capital. And that is the problem. The police system is not beholden to the people. is beholden to capital, and that is the problem with policing in general. And that is why policing needs to be completely dismantled and rethought. Of course, I will give Finnish police this. Finnish police have way more training than police in the US. I'm not trying to say that the situation in Finland is as bad as in the US. It is not. Our police in Finland are not as militarized. Our police have way more training, and our general crime situation is very different from the US. Absolutely. However, the system, the institution is still the same. And we can see similar trends and similar actions in the Finnish police as the US police. But the US police, of course, it is a lot worse. So this happened today, and it got me really, really angry. Like, these people definitely did something wrong. And the people who were standing by need to also be charged. Why do we keep comparing ourselves to the US? The bar is so fucking low. Absolutely. But I wanted to say that because because ACAB started from the US, like that, it became popular through there. So people think when you say that, like, oh, but our police are not as bad as the US. So I wanted to counter that by saying, yeah, I understand that we are not as bad as them. However, we still have the same problems. They're not as bad, but they're the same problems. Like, I agree. We shouldn't compare ourselves to the US, but people will always bring that like, well, the US is worse, so... The same goes with ALM. What's ALM? If you are saying that, oh, all lives matter, if you're saying that not only Black Lives Matter, you miss the reason for the movement. Yes. We aren't saying that only Black Lives Matter. We are saying that Black Lives Matter too, and we should be treated and should be treated equal no matter the skin color or race. Yes. So Black Lives Matter is the fact is that Black lives do not currently matter the same way that white lives, for example. Therefore, we need to amplify that. And when all lives matter equally, then we can say that. Yes. The police training in my country is 7 months in normal police school, but the police academy is 4 years. Yeah, it's something similar in Finland as well. Like, the training is considerably much more, comprehensive than in, the US. And I think it should be, yes, absolutely. Police should have a comprehensive training. It is a very important and high position of power, and they need to be trained well for that. Absolutely agree. But there's signs of, similarities between us and the US police, and like police in general. Like, if you look at the voting patterns of the Finnish police, for example, most of them vote either True Finn, which is the far-right nationalist party that we have in Finland, or what is it called? Kokoomus? What is that called in English? I don't remember what the English name is, but that is like neoliberal right-wing party. So those are the most voted parties within the police. Also, racism is a thing within the police systemically. 1/3 of the Finnish police, it came to light, belonged to a Facebook group, a secret Facebook group, which was openly extremely racist, discussing work in very racist tones, posting racist memes, etc., etc. And this was 1/3 of the Finnish police were in this group. Like 1/3. And it came to light, and there was a big fucking deal. And also, the Finnish police has been somewhat militarizing as well. They recently bought like armored vehicles, which essentially are used in like war zones. And the reasonings that they gave is, they needed to against terror attacks, and I was like, all right, maybe, like, I can give them that. Like, all right, maybe they need a few cars in case, terror attacks happen or whatever. Like, all right, I'll give them that, I guess. But then, then they went on to say, like, yeah, but we can't just leave them, collecting dust in the garage. So we have to, use them on normal street patrols or at events or parades and stuff. And I'm like, ooh, that's not cool. I'm not okay with that one. Like, that's not why you buy military grade stuff, so you can parade around and show off power. Like, no, that's not cool. Also, the police training in Finland is standardized. There's no excuse for brutality no matter the area of operation. Exactly, yes. If I remember correct, the first mission they had the car, they got fatally wounded because the car was of no use because their poor positioning. And I've seen those cars like in the center of Helsinki, them being used on like normal patrols, and I'm like, get this shit out of here. Like, who the fuck does this serve? Having these fucking military grade cars just like standing there in the center of our capital. Like, what does it serve? It doesn't serve anyone. They're there to like scare people, especially minorities and poor people. Police presence is most powerful influence in reducing crime. I would like to see some data to back that up, because that data is not born in the US, at least. The US doesn't, like, when we look at the US, that is not the case. Like, that is not shown in data in the US. And if we look at where the Finnish police spend their time, I'm not in Despo, so can't get studies. That's fair. And if we look at how the Finnish police spend their time mostly, but there is 100% proof. Anyway, I'm going to challenge that. I need data to support that claim, because the US does not support that claim. Finnish police spend most of their time is in traffic cases, when looking at how, or rather where they do the most arrests is traffic case. 100% I want to see that one. It could be country specific, but at least in the US, increased police presence has not led, or has not been the reason for a decrease in crime. But typically, the best way to tackle crime is to look at the root causes of crime. The root causes of crime, if we look at it from a pragmatic point of view, not from a people do crime because they're evil point of view, because that's not useful. If we look at it from a pragmatic point of view, one of the root reasons of crime are socioeconomic. A lot of people do crime because they need money. So if their socioeconomic positions are improved, crime also goes down. And that's why we've seen, for example, in the US, crime rates went down in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s because economic prosperity was better. So people had better monetary positions. We feel violent crimes also happen just because of mental illness? What do you mean? Violent crime, it can happen due to mental illness. Yes, it can. It can, but not only, yes. My point is that if we don't give support to communities that need extra help, oh yes, absolutely, yes, it can manifest like that. Yes, absolutely. We need to give more mental health support, more social support. Actually, fun fact, so where I live in Sweden, I live in Malmö, and Malmö a few years ago was notorious for having a lot of violence, like bombings and stabbings and like really violent, like a very big problem. And there was a genuine problem with that. There was, but that has decreased significantly in recent years. And the reason for that, there just came an article like a few weeks ago. I read it, and the reason for that is because the police went to people who they suspected to be connected to gang violence or could potentially go to gangs. They went to them with social workers and said, listen, we recognize that you're in this like danger group that could go down this path. We want you to know that if this happens, like, your life's not going to be good. You're going to have to deal with us a lot more, and we don't want that to happen. Like, we don't want you to be in those positions. And with this program, they were able to move some people who were in the gang situation, someone who weren't, into different areas, give social support for them, and they wouldn't go into crime. This lowered this problem, and now it's a lot better. And that's how they dealt with it. Not by, just shoving a shit ton of police, but actually talking to the people, social workers. And this, funnily enough, this strategy is not from here. It's from the US. I think Chicago. The Chicago police used the same tactic, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to dig up the article. I don't remember all the details now. That's pretty dope. Like, 'cause, like, that's a lot more that's a lot more, that's a better way of tackling the issue, because that is the root issue, the socioeconomic issues. Those are the root causes, and if we tackle those, we can significantly cut down crime. That's how the police in my country prevent gang violence. That's good. That was my bit on policing. I think we need to drastically rethink how we do it. I think in Europe we're in a better position than in the US, for sure. But I think it is just a system that we need to rethink and rebuild. Hey there. Thanks a lot for watching this video. If you like it, please hit that thumbs up to give me a like for the video and subscribe for future videos. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, or you can come visit my stream on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Central European Time, and I'll be answering any questions you got there and playing some games while we're at it. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye!